If you suddenly came into a large sum of money, say $1 million or more, how would you turn it into passive income for the future? We can overthink the fuck out of this in a million ways, but a simple fixed deposit and an index fund investment will cover most life expenses unless you're planning to YOLO on it. Index funds. I'm not going to be able to retire where I want on that kind of money, but it would definitely help. Since I don't need that million now. It's just going to be gravy in 15 years. First you set up an options trading account. Then in 3 months you won't have any money and you can get your old job back. Your old job should provide a steady income to live on. In my country, even in our capital, I could buy up to 25 one-bedroom flats in good locations for rental purposes. Each of them would bring me around $250 a month. Buy land and plant trees, then enroll it in the government wildlife management program. They will pay you a small amount of money per acre each year if you let the land go unused for 10 to 20 years. You could still collect the hunting right fees every year, which adds an extra 1 to 3K. After 20 years you can harvest the trees for pulp or lumber. It would not get the highest rate of return, but if you wanted to live in a house on a large amount of land, that is the route I would pick. I'd just retire and go live in Southeast Asia and live like a king for the next 30-odd years. 900K into a 4 to 6% dividend-paying low-risk stock. YOLO the rest extremely aggressively. If it goes bust, you can fall back on the 36 to 60K dividend life. Index fund all of it and then keep working part-time until the US finally gets single-payer healthcare. I can't afford to lose the great insurance at my current job. Buy 10 acres of land with a hill in the middle. Build a house on the hill. Then put a shit-ton of mobile homes all around the bottom of the hill. Be a slumlord king. Also have to buy a throne. Can't forget the throne. If I unexpectedly came into $1 million, I would invest $500,000 buying homes and renting them out. In my area where I live, I'd be able to buy about 5 homes with a $100,000 down payment. I would put those homes in my kids' names so by the time they become adults they have passive income. The other $500,000 I would invest into my company and expand my business. 35% total stock market index fund. 25% total international stock market index fund. 40% total bond index fund. See 3 financial advisors and do whatever they all agree on first. Buy an apartment complex and live in one of the apartments, rent the others. Pay off my mortgage. I can now live on very little income for the rest of my life. Right now half working in equities yielding better than 8%. Another 10% working growth and speculation portfolio. The rest in timber or rental property. 1/2 to properties. Let an established management company run the business. Also, I wouldn't gouge people cause I'm not a shit. 1/2 to a crypto stablecoin to earn interest better than any bank. More stable than stocks. Buy agricultural land in Argentina and lease it to companies. Use the profits for buying more land. Use the profits for indexing fund. Then just use the profits for buying and renting properties and so on and so on. I would just buy a house. Having to not pay rent or a mortgage isn't passive income exactly. But it is several $100s a week I'm not spending, which is a good start. I'll tell you what I'd do, man. 2 chicks at the same time. For $1 I could pick up a few townhouses in an up-and-coming neighborhood. Pay a company to manage the property. And that's passive income with an asset behind it. I would buy one of those really fancy art tablets that is also a desk, and I would get the most comfortable back-supporting chair money could buy. Then I would heavily invest in my art skills so I could properly improve and be able to sell my work. It wouldn't make a ton of money back, but it would jumpstart so many things for me. Buy a house here in SoCal and rent it out for $3,000 per month. Invest in some real estate, allowing for both rental fees now and, hopefully, a decent return if I decide to sell in the future. I'd build a multi-family unit in my area. There is a lot of jobs here, but no affordable housing. The county is working on it, but they fill up a complex before even breaking ground with years-long waiting lists. Alternately, I'd build a family-friend RV, trailer, tiny home park. That would probably help out here as well. I would buy 5,524 share of GME and go live on the moon. Asterisk put it in an index fund until it doubles to 2 million. Asterisk then move it to something a little more conservative that will earn 7% reliably. Now draw annually 3%, which should be $60,000 per year. Because you're still earning 7%, the principal should remain forever and allow your annual draw to adjust for inflation. Diverse mutual funds with emphasis on dividend returns. I ain't playing the stock market. I've seen enough of WSB Redditors going sideways to not mess with the stock market. I'll let the experts handle it. I wouldn't have the highest possible returns, but it would be enough for me to just work part-time for the rest of my life. Put majority in an index fund and spunk the rest in some random stocks. Not even gonna do that TBH, just gonna straight up gamble that shit away. I would pay off my rent for the rest of my life in a decent bug-free apartment. Give $100,000 to my local vet for low-income desexing, emergency vet care. Then take the rest to a professional. I'd get out of debt first, then get my kids out of debt and establish college funds for my grandchildren. At my age, as far as I'm concerned, they are the future. Invest it all in large dividend stocks and you got yourself $2,000 a month. 4-leaf clover. Buy a farm, ranch. Grow my own stuff and sell my plants and animals. I would set up extremely large trust funds for my nephew and goddaughter. You never said it had to be my future. Hookers and blow. The initial investment is a lot, but once you own a good hooker you can get more uses out of them than Tide Pods. The blow. Well, that's just for me. I live in the most expensive city in the world, and let me tell you, I'll put that shit into real estate quicker than the speed of light. Well, my income is already passive income for my ex, so I'm way ahead of you. Put it away to gain interest for a while. Build the first White Castle in Connecticut after it becomes big enough to do so. Move to Thailand and live like a king for the rest of your life. Crypto, Bitcoin plus altcoins, plus some traditional index funds like VAS. Probably invest in Bitcoin, open a franchise of some sort and make a business. Invest in real estate but renovate a large amount of homes modestly. Get everything up to code. Make the place nice and clean. Then the buyer can gussy up the place. Or not. Gentrification doesn't benefit everyone. It would only be a small profit, but I could probably live on it and live with myself. Start the most cutthroat and ruthless real estate business imaginable. Using every dirty underhanded trick in the book to expand into a business empire. Then run for president in 40 years and run your country into the ground. Personally, I'd opt to invest it in a high-yield bond fund. Interest rates are low, but you should be able to get 3.5% or so from it, which will give you about $35,000 a year in interest. I'd stay away from stocks for the time being unless you want to transfer like $5,000 a month into an index stock fund. I think the market price is high at the moment and we are likely due for a painful correction soon. Get Bitcoin. Set it to recurring fixed-term savings. Let it sit for a few years, collect